Welcome back. With the top-seeded William & Mary pinned against 4th-seeded Delaware in the first CAA final matchup, the 18th-ranked 11-5 Tigers must pounce on George Mason in order to play for the championship title. This should prove to be an exciting game, as the Tigers would try to get revenge from an earlier bout when the Patriots gave Towson their only home loss of the season earlier this year, with a final score of 13-10. But now we have our women's lacrosse expert, Lauren Piccolo, who will give us the breakdown of what the Tigers must do to contain the high-octane offense of George Mason. Lauren, thanks a lot for being with us here today.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What exactly does Towson need to do against George Mason in this first-round semifinal matchup?
Well, Towson's ranked 18 and George Mason is ranked 13. So if Towson were to win, it'd be a big upset for the game. And the toughest part about it is they lost in the regular season 13-10. So obviously that that shattered their hopes of winning, having a winning streak at their home, stadium. Yeah. So that kind of devastated them. But I feel that, however, they, in the past 5 meetings that they've had, current to this year, they won all the games. And last year they won 19-13. So I feel that if they can, keep up their defense, offense, they'll be able to pull through. If they don't let George Mason take a big lead and if they stay with them, I feel like they have a good chance of winning the game.
All right. Well, in this season so far, what do you think has helped Towson excel as far as they have?
Well, the women's lacrosse team knows how to play the game. I mean, they know how to win and do a good job of it. However, Hillary Fratsky doesn't hurt being on their team.
Yeah, not at all.
I mean, she's definitely one of their most valuable players. They look to her to give them the lead, and she's actually ranked second in the CAA for having 52 goals this season. Yeah. Talk about a good record there. And in each 16 games, she's started and has at least 2 scores per game. So, I mean, she's doing great for the team, and I feel like she will take their team to victory.
All right, Lauren, bold prediction. Right now, do you think the Towson Tigers can win this tournament?
It's really hard to say. Obviously they have to get past George Mason, and if they do, they may have a chance, but if they keep up their defense and offense like they have been playing all season, then I see that they maybe win. With Hilly Fratsky, Maggie McNamara, and Britt Woodfield, they have a good chance to pull the lead. What do you think,
Lauren?
DA?
I need guts. I need a bold prediction.
Yes or no?
Guts here. Yes or no? Will they win the CAA tournament?
Probably not.
Wow, probably not is still not a no.
Yeah,
she's
I want to have
yes
faith in my team. I can't shatter their hopes off the bat here.
Well, she said no. You heard that, ladies. You can put
Right
this on
here.
the bulletin board in
Right
the locker room.
here.
Lauren Piccolo doesn't think that you're going to win the CAA tournament. We'll find out what I think in a little while, right?
Yep, hopefully. All right. Well, it's time for another commercial break. But when we get back, we'll be taking a look at Towson's new defensive coordinator. DA will take you into that a little bit more. Coming after this commercial break. Stay tuned, though. You're watching Towson Sports Weekly.
There's a new sheriff in town for the Towson football team, and he'll be calling all the shots on the defensive side of the ball. A few weeks ago, the Tigers signed former Yale assistant Jeff McDonald to be their defensive coordinator. With no further ado, here's a little more about the man expected to lead one of the top defensive units in the CAA next fall.
Tension. Enthusiasm. Positive.
There's a quiet storm inside of new Towson defensive coordinator Jeff McDonald.
No, you stop. That's the problem. You can't stop your feet. Run through.
It's a storm that rains intensity, thunders enthusiasm, and has bolts of lightning made of positivity. The Tigers believe his unique coaching style will be able to get the job done in the coming season.
He's kind of a quiet, very determined, and very competitive.
He's very different. That's what I have to say about him. He's aggressive in his calls, what he looks for, then he's detailed to specific what he wants out of us.
As a player, it makes you want to work that much harder because you see your coach putting in work hours on hours, and it makes you want to come in and work for him and show him that you appreciate what he does.
Now, when the Tigers were looking for a coach to hire to run their defense, they were looking for someone who was familiar with their 3-4 defensive scheme, the very same scheme that Coach McDonald ran at Yale University.
The defense that we ran when Bobby Penson came here 2 years ago had a lot to do with the guy who's the defensive coordinator at Yale, Rick Flanders. So, I think that there's two things. I didn't want somebody to come in and reinvent the wheel and change it where, all our players had to adjust. And I just wanted this guy to adjust to the things that we were doing.
Now, for the seniors on this defense, this is now their third defensive coordinator in the last 4 years. However, the team still feels confident that they can keep people out of this end zone.
Him coming from Yale, I thought he was going to bring in a whole difficult scheme, but pretty much the defense is the same. It's a few changes here and there, but guys are picking up on things pretty well, and as a defense, we look pretty good so far.
Coach McDonald spent the last 6 years at Yale University as the defensive ends coach and head recruitment coordinator. During that time, the Bulldogs boasted one of the top defenses in the country. The 33-year-old Florida native also coached the linebackers at New Hampshire back in 2001 and hopes to bring the principles he learned through his experiences here to Towson.
There's a number every day in turnovers, and we're trying to emphasize it. Not just creating turnovers, but looking for the turnovers, looking for the strip, trying to get that ball.
For Towson Sports Weekly, I'm Daniel Abraham. McDonald and the Tigers can be seen Saturday, May 3rd at Johnny Unitas Stadium for the annual Black and Gold Spring Game. Be sure to make your way out there and check out the Tigers.
Well, the Towson baseball team hoped to improve their record last weekend with a 3-game series against CAA opponent William & Mary, but fell short as the Tribe crushed the Tigers in the final 2 games. The Tigers won the series opener by a score of 15-12, but the Tribe rallied back in Game 2 for a 20-8 victory. In the final game of the series, the Tribe jumped out to a 9-0 lead, but the Tigers would not go down without a fight, rallying back in the 8th inning to tie the game. With only one more strike to throw to get out of the 9th inning, senior Ben Giez for the Tribe hit a double to score 2 runs off Tizer closer Josh Quattrito. After loading the bases once again, senior Tim Park hit a fly ball to left field, but Tiger outfielder Kevin Collins dropped the ball, no pun intended, on an error, allowing 3 runs to score. The Tigers lost the game 14-9 and lost the series 2-1. The Tigers return to action tomorrow as they travel to Virginia Commonwealth to take on the Rams in a 3-game series. It's time for another commercial break, but when we get back, we'll see how the softball team is doing on the diamond. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Towson Sports Weekly.